So hello everyone, and welcome back to Sakura Unboxing. So welcome to my recap of my first ever convention I went to, and that was Anime NYC. I was just so excited to go. I saw one of my favorite artists was going to be there, so I decided to just buy a ticket for one day and just go into the city. So yes, here's my pass right here that I have, just for the one day, of course. But yeah, I just felt like going one day because the main reason I want to go was because of the artist alley. Because again, I like supporting small artists, so you know, that was just my main objective when going to this convention. So yes, throughout this video, I'm going to be going over my experiences with this convention. I wish I could have done like a vlog style video, but it was quite challenging. It was definitely a very crowded event. I was kind of shy just talking on camera as I vlogged. So I'll just talk about the event. I made some notes for myself just to kind of, you know, remember some stuff because it was definitely a lot. So yes, throughout this video I'm going to be going over my thoughts on the event, how my day pretty much went, and just kind of planning for the future because after this I do want to attend more events. I think it'd be pretty fun. This one was just the closest to me, so that's why I kind of just hopped on it and decided to go. And of course, my cosplay experience, which I had a pretty good time with overall. So I will start with the cosplay experience first. So going into my cosplay experience, so I am of course cosplaying Izumi from Dungeon Meshi. She is my favorite character from the series, and I dare say best girl in my opinion. And yeah, so I felt pretty confident in this cosplay. I felt comfortable. I felt like I match the character to the best of my abilities, because again, I don't really do cosplay as like a hobby. I only do it for like special occasions such as conventions and such, and even Halloween. But yeah, I felt pretty good in this outfit. So I'll quickly go into just how I assembled this cosplay. So I did buy the outfit online. It was a small, and I feel like it fits me pretty well. There's some stuff maybe like the this little shirt piece right here. And like the pants were a little bit baggy. I wish I could have gotten an extra small for that, but they didn't have it. So yeah, outfit bought online. It came with the tail for the cosplay, which was a little rough, so I had to just wash it and then like cut a little bit just to make it look a little bit neater. This also came with a wig, which I tried to style to the best of my abilities. Without the ears, I feel like I'm giving off Mikasa from Attack on Titan vibes, especially also with the red scarf. And yeah, the ears I did make myself because while this cosplay did come with some ears, they're kind of sad and kind of ugly, so I just decided to make my own. Which I have made ears like this in the past, which are, they are a little bit posable, so I can do stuff like this, which is pretty cool. The only thing with the ears is I made them a little bit too big, so I did have to kind of bend them to make them look a little bit shorter. But it does make it have a little bit of excess in the back. After that, the contact lenses that I'm wearing right now, I got off of Unique So they sell specialty contacts, and yeah, I just got them off of there. Originally, of course, as I'm talking through this, I'll show pictures. I did get these ones, which I felt like were closest to Itsuzumi's eye color. But they were also just advertising Dungeon Meshi contacts that you could wear for your cosplay. And some of the main ones for her were also just like, with cat's eyes, they become like slit-eyed. I did take some photos at home with those contacts on. I feel like they were a little bit too intense, I think. I don't know, that was just me when I got them. I mean, they're nice to have for like an extra little, like, optional part for this cosplay. But the other thing is that they kind of were a little bit blurring my vision slightly. Like, I can still see, but stuff was like tinted yellow. So I didn't want to risk that at a convention. I want to be able to see properly. So yes, next up, of course, is the teeth. If you guys can see it on camera, she does have some sharp canines that I wanted to do. If I am talking like weird, that's because the reason why. I might take these later out of my mouth just to not sound like I have such a lisp throughout this video. And I did make bottom ones, but I couldn't really close my mouth all the way. So I just stuck with the top ones just to make my mouth a little bit more comfortable. And then the last thing I did originally was planning to bring a prop, which were these 3D printed kunai that I got off of Etsy, and then I just wrapped them in tape to give, like, you know, the handle feel to it. However, I was worried that they were gonna pull me over and, you know, confiscate them. Another thing I should have done was check the whole cosplay listing on the Anime NYC website, just to see like what's allowed. I think I've seen also on Reddit, like 3D printed stuff is fine as long as like stuff like the tips of a weapon is dulled. But they don't allow any metal, like sharp wood or glass or anything like that at a convention for safety reasons, obviously. But I walked through fine. I had a backpack on, I walked through fine. I could have put the kunai in my bag and I think I would have been fine. I just didn't want to take that risk and, you know, get pulled over for that. So then the last thing I wanted to talk about were the nails that I had. I wore fake acrylic nails I got from the Dollar Tree. I trimmed them into the shape of, you know, sharp nails that Itsuzumi has. And those were probably the most problematic part of the cosplay. I feel like it definitely, you know, made it look more like the character. But I feel like when going to a convention, I would probably do without having that part. Just because you're at a big event, they're sharp, and just grabbing stuff, like grabbing money out of my wallet and just I had to open up like a little plastic thing for the food I got. It was a pain in the ass, so I wouldn't recommend it. Also, you know, I was using nail glue, and let me tell you, it was pretty secure, but I just did like a little bit. I didn't spread it across the whole nail at first. But the problem with that was, you know, some of them did end up like coming off a little bit, so then I had to just do it all across my nail. And let me tell you, I still have some residue left on my nails that I'll have to clean off. It's definitely time consuming to take off. So unless you're doing like a photo shoot, not at a convention, like a massive convention with friends, then yes, I feel like you can definitely do, you know, the fake nails on your own hands. But if you're at a large convention like this, I would probably do without it, if I'm being honest. I still feel like I was happy with it and it just made the look, but for the sake of convenience, I would probably recommend just skipping out on that step. And then also, the little scarf, I do really like it, but you can't really see the bow. It does kind of sag a little bit in the back compared to obviously how Itsuzumi wears it in the anime, manga. But yeah, I also had the backpack, which is kind of annoying to deal when I had the scarf on. Also, two little other things that happened is because I was such in a rush to get to the train station, I forgot to ask like my mom to zip up the back of this vest. Just have a little zipper. Thankfully, for the most part, I did have the backpack on, so it did kind of cover the, you know, that little area, thankfully. And then lastly, the little skirt that Itsuzumi has, I was wearing it, and it just have a button, and I guess actually I just pulled on it, and I didn't notice it fall to the ground until someone pointed out, and I'm like, oh, you know, thank you. So yeah, that was a little bit embarrassing, and I didn't really notice it, so I'm glad they pointed it out, because I would have walked off, and it would have been a disaster. I would have panicked to look for the skirt. But yeah, thankfully they pointed it out, so that, you know, I wouldn't have lost that piece. Yeah, so surprisingly, you know, even with those mistakes, I felt pretty good with the cosplay. Surprisingly, I didn't lose any of those fake nails, thankfully. But yeah, I feel pretty good. Like, this is a cosplay I want to do again, maybe for Halloween, where I can do like better photo shoots. I was just kind of shy. I didn't really ask people to take photos of me because I was by myself, not with like any friends. But yeah. I really love Itsuzumi. I definitely want to do this cosplay again, and you know, I feel like the quality of this cosplay is pretty well made, so hopefully it does hold up in the long run so I can just do more cosplays of this character. So going to the convention itself. So yes, I woke up at 5:30 just to get the whole ensemble ready, and I took the train to the city, to Penn Station, and I decided to take a walk to the Javits Center. It was roughly 16 minutes away, and, you know, I made it there. It was quite a nice walk. Thankfully the weather was pretty cool that morning. And, you know, I get to the convention, I'm obviously very excited, and, you know, I go in, and, you know, they lead us in. I had to take the fan entrance, and then if you had your badge, you can just go in. And unfortunately, some people, they didn't have their badge, they had to get out the gate, which if you do get your badge, I just recommend you getting it mailed to you so you can just get into the convention a little bit faster, not have to wait on that other line. They did like a bag check and all that. For the most part, they had like the little sensor things that like sense if there's like any metal or anything that could be in your bag. I had my backpack, and thankfully they didn't pull me over for anything. And then getting into the convention, they, you know, walked us down like a certain way into where everyone was gonna line up, and there was individual like rows that people would go into, and surprisingly I got into the very first row, and I was kind of like in the middle back of that, so I was going to be one of the first like large groups to go into the convention. Now here's where the big kind of, probably like the little scariest thing that happened at the convention to me was that I was an idiot, and because I was in such a rush, I didn't put a water in my backpack. And all I had for breakfast really was a banana and some Pop-Tarts. Not the best combo to have, and not the best idea to not bring water. And like probably like towards like about like half an hour into it, I just felt like my anxiety just went up, like that tingly feeling, that kind of nauseous feeling you have, which was kind of scary considering that I was, you know, on my own for this convention. None of my friends were with me. And I think also just being surrounded by a lot of people made me like anxious. I don't feel like I'm claustrophobic, but yeah, maybe it's because again, if I was with a friend, maybe I'd feel more calm, because I wasn't, but because I wasn't, I should say, it just made my anxiety rise, and I was worried that I was gonna possibly pass out from, you know, maybe not eating enough, not having the water, and also just my sleep schedule being the mess that it is, just bringing up my anxiety. So yes, I'm obviously, you know, trying to take deep breaths and relax a little bit, trying not to think about it. But because I just didn't also want to lose my spot in line, because I got a pretty good spot. I got there into that little area probably around like 8:30, but the convention unfortunately doesn't start until 11. So yeah, I mean, it's important to get there very early, especially if you want to get in right away. But just pack a lot of food and just water, and just like be prepared for that, which I kind of wasn't. Thankfully, I could get off the line and use the bathroom and not lose my spot. I did ask these two very nice girls if they could watch my backpack. I did take my lanyard with my wallet, of course, attached to it. I definitely want to have the money on me and not in a backpack and leave it with someone. So yeah, went to the bathroom. I just drank a lot of water from that water fountain. That, thank God they had water fountains in that area. And then, you know, I had a little more of the Pop-Tart, which honestly probably wasn't the best idea. I think the sugar also kind of just made me feel like anxious and jittery. I think it was like a combination of my like excitement for this convention and just like not eating that kind of raised my anxiety. But you know, thankfully they allow you to also just sit and wait, which I did. So yeah, that was just probably the main scare for this convention. I'm fine right now, and when I got in, I was perfectly fine. I think it was just my whole surroundings, and, you know, being around so many people and then just not eating, you know, wasn't smart. But yeah, that's just something I just have to think about for the future, is just to prepare myself a little bit better for situations like that. So yes, when 11 o'clock came around, they finally let us into the convention, starting off with my first row. We all went in and got up the stairs. The first thing I went to was the Kinokuniya booth, because I saw a tweet that they were selling some Witch Hat Atelier exclusive stuff that I believe they had at Anime Expo, or it could have been at the Kinokuniya store itself that is in New York City. But as you all know, Witch Hat Atelier, top tier series. I'm hyped for the anime and for the manga to, you know, continue on. And of course I want to get that exclusive stuff. I will just mention that I will be doing a separate video on the merch pickups, so look forward to that. I'll mention that there. So yes, there was some stuff there, which I did pick up 2 out of the 3 things there. I'll mention that there's, yeah, the poster, which is way too big for me to carry. I felt like I was perfectly fine without it though, so I picked up the other 2 items from that, so yeah, I was very excited about that. So yes, after I got those 2 items that I really wanted, I went to check out, and because I think I spent over either $50 or $75 at that booth, I did get a exclusive like tote bag. Very cool design, and this little sucker helped me at the convention carry my other purchases. But yeah, I did pack some extra totes, which I recommend doing if you are gonna buy a lot of stuff. And yeah, that was, my first stop because I just wanted to get those exclusive items. So then, after that, I did quickly go downstairs to get a water bottle, so I wouldn't like panic, and again, I recommend bringing your own because water bottles, it was like $4, I'm like, kind of a little bit regret there of not bringing my own water bottle. And the next thing was finding the artist alley, because that was my top priority. That's all I wanted to go to for this convention, not really any panels or anything. But I was an idiot and just trying to like look around and figure out where it was, not realizing it was in the same area, kind of in the back, as the Kinokuniya booth. So yes, eventually, after wandering around a little bit, I found it. I mean, it was hanging from the ceiling saying Artist Alley, and I didn't look up to see it. But yes, I went there. There's probably going to be a whole bunch of B-roll of just me trying my best to get some footage of the Artist Alley and the different artists you can see there. Kind of tricky because, again, I am short and there's a lot of tall people, so I had to stretch my arm out like all the way up here just to get some footage. So yes, I want to go to 3 specific booths first. So one of my favorite artists who I always buy from online is Pembrika. When I saw her tweet that she was going to be in Anime NYC, I immediately bought the ticket. Like, she was one of the main reasons that I wanted to go to this convention. So yes, and I decided, before this convention, I was going to make fan art for her of her OCs. I'll pop up on screen the fan art I made, and also for another artist who was actually sharing the same booth as her, which was Milkiness, and then also the last one, which was Poxy. I did their OCs in my style. Some I had better ideas than others, in my opinion. I don't know, some of them I feel like, I feel like I could have improved a little bit. So yes, I was very excited to see her because, I was finally meeting an artist who I tend to buy a lot of merch from in person. So yes, I get to her booth, and obviously I'm very excited. It looked fantastic. Like, Artist Alley booths, the way they just set it up, I think is just so cool. Like, some people just have it in a certain style of, like, their own, and it's just amazing to see. And very organized as well. So I get to the booth, I'm excited, she said, okay, what would you like to get? And so I said I wanted like a whole set of acrylic charms and a sticker sheet and so on and so forth. I remember her saying this, like, oh, that's like the first person to want like the whole set. I'm like, yeah, because yeah, I wanted the acrylic charms that, again, I'll mention in the merch video. Also like a little OC collab thing she had with Milkiness I decided to pick up because I like collecting some of her OC stuff as well. And then, she's preparing it, and she says the total, which was pretty much $190 for all that. And then, I had the fan art, I brought like a binder to keep like the fan art in so nothing would get wrinkled. So then she, I gave her the fan art, and she was obviously very excited and very happy and grateful for it. And then she said, oh, you brought a lot of stuff, thank you so much. And I said, oh yeah, hi, it's like, I'm Sakura, I'm the one who buys a lot of stuff from your shop. And she immediately knew who I was, and she said, oh my goodness, it's such, a pleasure to meet you. And I was obviously like, oh my god, it was such a pleasure to meet you too. And she shook my hand. It was so cute. I was just over the moon happy. I was worried though because I had the sharp claws, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry if I poke your hand. She said, no, it's okay. And yeah, so I did that, and it was very exciting. I did want to like email her, of course, the digital version of this because obviously the printed version not the best quality, but that was just so happy. I was so happy to meet her in person. I did feel a little bad because the line, I was holding it up a little bit because she had a lot of people coming to her booth. But yeah, I tried to be as quick as possible with that so she can, you know, continue her business. So then I stepped over to Milkiness's booth where I picked up a few things. And I also gave her the fan art of her OC Eve. Very cute design. I did kind of just draw the little sticker design that she had in like my own style. But she was also very grateful for that, and I think she gave me like a free extra little sticker sheet actually of one of her OCs. So yes, I was just so happy to have given them fan art, just to have meet them in person. And obviously I didn't want to film the interaction for the sake of, you know, privacy and all that. I just filmed their booth. Because, you know, sometimes they don't like having their faces recorded and, you know, voices recorded, so just out of respect, I did not record the interaction. But yes, that was definitely the big highlight of my day, just to meet, like, some of my favorite artists and just to give them fan art as a thank you for, like, their hard work. And, you know, just, you know, exciting to meet them in person and to actually, you know, pick up merch from a booth. So then after that, I went to Poxy's booth, which was the last person I wanted to give some fan art to. There's just some stuff I picked up from them as well. I gave it to them, and immediately she was like, what the hell? Like, in that kind of like voice, she was very surprised, and, you know, she was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then she was very nice to give me like an extra little print, which was super sweet. So yeah, I was very grateful for that as well. Like, that interaction went pretty well between the three of them. So yeah, very sweet people. I highly recommend picking up from their shops whenever they do open it up again. And then, you know, I probably spent about 3 hours or so in the artist alley just to like look at different artists. Now, of course, I went to buy stuff from Pembrika, Milkiness, and Poxy's booth. Like, that was like guaranteed. Like, I was definitely going to pick up stuff from them, but I wanted to browse a little bit before spending my money because I was worried I was going to spend it all in one place and not realize there's some other cool other things I could have picked up at another person's booth. So yeah, spent quite a while in the artist alley because, again, that's where I want to, you know, spend most of my money and time. And then the last artist I wanted to go to before I went to get some food was again, I'll put the Twitters on the side, very amazing art style. So yeah, I wanted to pick some stuff up. So the total came out to about $57. Now, I did have 20s on me, so I just gave her, you know, 60, and I just said, oh, keep the change. Again, I feel like, you know, $3 is something too substantial for me. And she was very grateful for the tip, and she gave me like an extra free little sticker, which was cute. So yeah, she's definitely an artist. Maybe I want to pick up some stuff from in the future. Just a very sweet person and very nice interaction with her. And then lastly, I just went to get food. I didn't want to spend too much on food because it can get expensive at these conventions. I went into this little grab and go area where it's just you scan your debit card in and you just grab something and you just go. I didn't see like I got charged for anything, and some people just seemed like confused by the concept. So yes, I don't think they had prices on the food. I just grabbed it and I left. I wonder if it's like if you get into this convention, it's like a free thing and you just have to, I don't know. I don't understand how that stuff works. So, but yeah, I just wanted something small and simple, nothing too messy, especially with my hands. But yes, I ate the sandwich. I went to like I think it was like a river pavilion or something. I went like up these stairs where people can do cosplay photo shoots, and I just sat in like the back and just sat on the floor and ate the sandwich and drank some water. And then eventually as I was sitting there, there were a whole bunch of cosplayers coming in my direction, a whole bunch of Goddess of Victory Nikkei cosplayers, and yeah, then eventually I just got up and left because I didn't want to be bothering these people's photo shoots. So yes, speaking of photo shoots, the other thing that happened was that I missed a large Dungeon Meshi photo shoot. I wasn't aware of it. It's not like they announced this on a loudspeaker or anything. I guess you just have to look online and there you go. But I wish I could have been there, especially because, you know, I'm Itazumi, and there was a couple of other Itazumi cosplayers as well. I think it would have been cool. I think there was like a sign or something when you were in that area saying like when a photo shoot was, but I don't think it said like what series. I completely forgot. So yes, if you want to do like a big cosplay photo shoot and be a part of it, maybe check like people's social medias, and just, you know, maybe on the Anime NYC website itself, it might list what kind of fandom is going to be doing a large cosplay photo shoot, just so you can participate in it. Now, moving on to the next thing after I ate and got my energy back up, I decided to go back into the exhibitors hall just to get some, you know, my priority was also getting B-roll just to show you guys the convention in general. So yes, I, you know, just walked around the exhibitors hall. Thankfully, there really wasn't anything I wanted. Of course, a lot of places were selling figures, so I got a bunch of B-roll of different vendors selling figures. Good Small had a booth there where you can get some items that they had listed. Thankfully, there really wasn't anything I wanted, plus for the sake of convenience of carrying everything, you know, I'm glad there wasn't. I did see this one couple buy up some figures, and they actually got the Strawberry Miku scale figure, which, if you guys know, has a pretty large box, so I'm like, okay, good luck with that, with carrying it around the convention. But yeah, I just took some B-roll of the different figures on display, like upcoming figures, figures that are pre-order now that are colored, and some prototypes, which I thought was pretty cool. It's always cool to see stuff like that at a convention, just a little sneak preview of what's to come. So yeah, and also at these figure booths, a lot of stuff is really overpriced. Like, I get the shipping tax to the United States, but some of them were just like way overpriced, even like with, you know, shipping here to the States. So yeah, you can definitely find better options online, like figures can go on sale, and, you know, just for the convenience of not having to carry it around the convention, that's also another thing. Because yeah, I remember seeing like a Corin and Veronica figure from Fire Emblem. The Corin, I think, was like $260 or even close to $300, which was absolutely ridiculous. You can get it for a lot cheaper than that. And yeah, so, you know, thankfully, again, there was nothing I really wanted to pick up in terms of figures, because then, you know, I would have been definitely in trouble. And then after that, I saw some figures on display from Kotobukiya, Amakuni, Spiritel, and Union Creative, which was pretty cool. You know, again, I'll just show some of the figures on screen. Some of them were prize figures and scale figures. Very cool. My definite favorites from what I saw there was definitely the Saber Astolfo. That figure looked a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. Very cool. And then I also saw the Spiritel Sakura Miku, which again I want, but the aftermarket for that is a little bit expensive. So yeah, but it was just cool to see those figures in person. Then after that, looking around the exhibitor hall, I passed by like this one little area where people, two guys were selling like FGO arcade cards, but it was very expensive. Like, I think it was like $100 or so just to do like a 10 pull, if you know what I mean, for like a random gacha, to see if you can get like a character or anything. Just the stuff that they were offering was kind of expensive, and again, I was just running low on money at that point. So I didn't really, like, you know, want to, you know, as much as I love FGO, I just don't want to spend the money on something like that. And then they also had some dojins. They had some not safe for work ones, but the majority of them were safe for work. I pulled out one because it had Oberon on the cover. However, they were selling these for $40, and I'm like, I couldn't swallow that pill. I know Oberon was on the cover, but I could maybe find this cheaper online. So yes, again, stuff can be like overpriced, and you can probably find them online for cheaper, so just be wary of that before you actually buy the item. And then I was in this little area where I guess they had like vintage or older like Japanese CDs, DVDs, and video games. Very interesting little area. Again, nothing I really want, but I thought I'd just show that off for the video. And then I did this little Fate experience thing. I'll show up on screen. You could technically record inside, but because of the way they tell you to play this game, it's not really the best. You have to kind of like pose and stuff and do stuff like that. It was a Emiya versus Gilgamesh thing. It was like pretty interesting. So yeah, again, you had to pose to do some attacks, and then the whole thing kind of just rumbles like when you do the attack, and it's kind of crazy. And I was like, whoa, the whole time. I feel like I was not that good at it. It was definitely pretty tough. But yeah, after that, they did give us like a little piece of merch for playing, so I thought that was nice. So yeah, speaking of Fate, surprisingly not a lot of FGO fan art I saw. there was probably only one booth in the artist alley that was selling FGO prints and acrylic charms, but none of them really stood out to me to warrant picking up. And yeah, besides also that very expensive FGO arcade card and Dojin booth, yeah, not a lot of Fate stuff, which I was kind of like bummed out about. So yeah, I wish I could have found more stuff there. Like maybe there was and I just missed it because I was just overwhelmed with so much stuff in the artist alley. After that, I did do a little bit more shopping. I stopped by at a few more booths to pick some stuff up. And then after that, I was feeling thirsty, so I went to this little bubble tea place at the back where the artist alley is. And I got like this mango rose jasmine tea, which had lychee in it, and it was super refreshing. I really enjoyed the flavor that I got, very good. And then there was also this like bubble waffle stand, and I wish I could have picked something up from there, but at that time I got my my bubble tea, so I didn't want to like double up at the same time. But looking back, I wish I could have just bought something from there and just drank something and ate something. So yeah, there was that. And yeah, maybe I should have just bought the ice cream and the boba tea and just had them at the same time. I think it would have been good. I'm not too sure where I can find a place like that, but that is something I definitely like to look for and try in the future. And then after that, the con does end at 7. I did leave a little bit earlier than that. I didn't hear anything over the PA saying, oh, the con is ending so and so time, or didn't see like security pushing people out, but people started to leave and I had nothing else at that point to do. I accomplished everything I needed and I left. Thankfully I caught my train on time. The cellular reception wasn't the greatest at the train station when I got down to the track, so I had to go back up quickly, get the ticket, then go on. And yeah, thankfully overall at this convention I didn't lose anything. I double checked I had my credit card, my debit card, my license, and just my bag and my money, just double checking everything so I don't lose anything, which was good. And then also with connectivity, like going on the internet and such in this convention, I used my cellular data when I was in there, because I didn't know what Wi-Fi to connect to. I probably should have asked someone what's the best one to connect to and how to do so. But if you're using cellular data, I feel like it's not going to be the best. Unless you move to the very entrance of the convention, then yes. But yeah, thankfully, I was able to, text my mom saying, hey, I'm here and all that, just to keep her updated. So yes, that was my overall experience with this convention. I had a fantastic time with it. Even for just one day, I tried to make the most of it. So yeah, definitely something I want to do again in the future. So the last thing I want to get to in this segment is just my overall thoughts on the convention and my future of attending conventions, because I would definitely like to after doing this. So yes, I was very, very happy with my experience at this convention. I felt pretty safe. It was just fun to be around people who enjoy what I enjoy. And just, again, meeting some of my favorite artists in person. It's just such an amazing experience. And yeah, so in terms of, the amount of days I want to do, like, I was perfectly fine with doing the one day. The artist alley was my top priority, so that's just what I wanted to do. But I definitely should keep an eye out on different panels that are going to be there. Like, panels, like, there was none I really wanted to go to. However, I didn't realize it until I saw a notification when I was playing, like, FGO. Was that there was supposed to be, like, like a Fate/Type Moon project thing that's going on today, Saturday. I wish I could attend because I really like Fate. And then there was also like an Avalon LaFay Dreamlog thing, which again, Avalon LaFay, Oberon. Thought that would have been cool to attend, but I wasn't aware of it and I didn't research into what exactly is going to be like on the different days of this convention. Because like I think you can get like a one-day pass for like Saturday, you can get a one-day pass for Friday, and a one-day pass for Sunday. Or you can get the 3-day pass, but unfortunately I bought this ticket in May, so I really only got the 1-day pass for Friday. I don't know when these tickets go up for sale, and I feel like definitely the 3-day passes could get snagged pretty quickly, so that's just something to keep in mind. So yes, like I definitely want to you know, sign up to their newsletter just to see, you know, get notifications with who's going to be at certain events, and then just see if I want to get, you know, the 3-day ticket when it goes up for order, just so I can get it. I'm pretty sure that these go pretty quickly, so it's just something to keep in mind. You know, especially if you want to see a specific artist or creator or voice actor, it's just, you gotta be kind of on the nose with it because people will snatch it up pretty quickly. And I definitely like to go to Anime Expo. That's obviously the massive event that a lot of people go to. That one will definitely require a lot more planning in terms of, you know, definitely gonna have to take a plane, the hotel, compared to me just taking the train to the city where I don't have to spend a lot of money on stuff like that. So that's just something to keep in mind in the future. Just, you know, just having that money on the side for transportation and commodities and all that for if I do want to travel out that far. And yeah, because again, AX, it'd be so fun to attend. I don't know if I would cosplay, like if I would do 3 days, if I would cosplay all 3 days, I would have to definitely prepare like 3 different cosplays, which technically I have, but I have to like bring them out of my closet and just organize them. But you know, or if I want to do like 1 day where I just don't cosplay and then 2 days where I do, there's that as well. And again, the whole packing process, you just gotta pack everything and make sure everything is neat and you have the materials you need to make sure your cosplay is in the shape that you want it to be in. So yes, I overall had a fantastic time at this convention. I just met such wonderful artists, you know, seeing my favorite artists in person, and just to see like the sites and just to get that experience in, just so I have, you know, some knowledge of it for the future so I can maybe plan better. And again, you know, I might want to, you know, start putting money on the side for stuff like if I want to do AX, which does make me kind of nervous because again, it's like, you know, a lot more to it to travel. But I think it'd be, you know, just cool just to see like these big events and just to meet some of my favorite creators. So yes, that overall concludes this video. In part 2, I will be doing the merch pickups, which was a lot, but there was just so many amazing artists and I wanted to, you know, give my money to them to support them in their future endeavors. So yes, that'll be part 2, which I might record shortly. So yes, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you would like to, of course, feel free to take the time to subscribe to my channel to see what other figure and merch related shenanigans I get into next. So I hope you all have a wonderful morning, afternoon, night wherever you are, and take it easy. Goodbye.